Hello. Hi. I hope I am audible because I've been meaning to make this video for a long time, and I think now I've decided to let's just go with it and not make this complicated. And maybe you guys can comment what you want about this. The language I've chosen is going to be English because in my maritime institute more than half of my batch did not speak Hindi, and I want this to be a general video useful to anyone from India trying to know a bit about electrotechnical officer course or merchant navy in general, but specifically electrotechnical officer. My journey. This would not be a super quick and short video, but this would be a vague general idea. I have not prepared an animation. I do not have my writing tablet, do not have my laptop. In fact, I do not bring my laptop on my ship. We are in the offshore industry. What I was told when I joined Anglo, what people talked about was bulk carriers, which carry grains and everything, containers, containers with reefers, tankers, LPGs, LNGs. That's what I knew. But then I discovered offshore, which has dredging, Jacobs, heavy lift vessel like mine, and we have shorter contracts. And I do not bring my laptop. Anyway, the intention behind this video would be, by the way, I'm in my cabin. This is a two-person cabin, but I'm definitely occupying. We marine crew always get a single cabin, and I chose this one because this has the direct view to the deck, and I would much rather prefer that than more space, I guess, because anyway I have to be all the time in the engine room, on the deck, inside the accommodation fixing faults. So let me take you to through the journey that I've been through in the past 2 years reaching here. Let's just get right into it. Where do we start? Let me start with why would you choose this career? I definitely graduated with ECE degree, so you need any electrical BTech degree to become an electrotechnical officer. They were accepting diplomas, but they have stopped doing that. They really want BTech guys, and the engineers that India is pumping into the merchant navy is really very good quality. So they would want to keep that. I mean, you can check, but all of the top colleges that I would like you to focus on: Anglo Eastern, Great Eastern, Tolani, Samudra. They accept BTech. Please do check on their website for any updates. And so I graduated from ECE, got into a web development job at a small place, at a cafe, became brand manager for them, went into AI. We were a small office labeling data sheets for US clients on Amazon Web Services, SageMaker to be specific. So I was happy there. My parents were happy. I finally got a call from Amazon. It was the lowest L1, I think L1 support executive. So I would be taking calls and supporting all the people who would use Amazon Web Services. But my parents definitely were happy. They could see that one day I would have a good position. But for me, things were not working out. I was not definite. After so much I put into this, I reached Amazon L1. So, and that's something with us Gen Zs as well. We are not very, let's just say, patient like that. What I wanted with my life was to have, first of all, free time, which finally in which I could go to maybe Ladakh or Solan, Spiti, and just meditate and spend time there. And second of all, to have a physical job in which I would love my job if there was some electronics, electrical, and so I think this job fit right into where my soul wanted me to be. And I did my fair share of trying industries. I was a singer once in a cafe, so that's that. And so I chose all the four colleges. I applied into it, maritime institutes, we call it MTI, maritime training institutes, for the electro technical officer course. I was working in that company I told you about, AI company. We were a small startup. We would take all the work that the clients in the states did not want to do, and we would label their data, all the low level work. But yeah, the experience counts, and you slowly move on to, let's just say, roles with higher responsibilities. It's much the same in any industry. And uh, and so I applied, got selected in Anglo. Anglo was my first choice because they had a lot of variety of ships, and no one in my family that I knew of knew where I should apply and knew anything about it. So Anglo Eastern was my first choice. It's very confusing if you go online. Many very bad colleges would make fake lists on Google and mention Anglo Eastern and then place their name on the second or third position. So, but once you spend time in the industry, you talk to people, you get to know. So, take it from me as a brother. This is what everything that I say here is exactly what I would tell my younger brother. Choose Anglo, Great Eastern, Tolani, Samudra. So I applied into all the four actually. Some of them were not, Samudra was not accepting. Um, got into Anglo. Let me tell you a bit about Anglo, Great Eastern, Samudra, Tolani. Anglo is a management company. Great Eastern is a owner company. Samudra is a owner company. Tolani does not have its own ships, but its training is Karanveer Singh Nair. If you are interested in this industry, you must have watched his vlogs. It's like the greatest channel I know of in Merchant Navy. Tolani has pumped great talent in the industry, and even one of my seniors, he got placed into BSM, Bernard and Schulz. It's a oil tanker company. As I told you, in India we consider like bulk carrier, container with reefer, oil tanker, LPG, LNG. So he got a very good. I know great people who have come out from Tolani, but they do not have their own ships. And in this industry, because it's such an old industry, people know about it. Lot more people come in, and the jobs are a lot less. So you need to, be lucky, or just join a good company where you are guaranteed a job, where you know that your trainers are going to be top notch, where you know that they accept only good talent and only good trainers, and they provide you with jobs. Their reputation is good, so companies, if you do not even want to join Anglo Eastern ships, many companies would happily accept them. Same with Great Eastern. Great Eastern has its own ships, but uh, as I've heard, many good companies come there for placement. So, because as a cadet, you are not really useful. They cannot give real responsibilities to you. You just have to be an assistant, or and someone has to be responsible for you. So, as a cadet, many people pay to be on good ships. So, any company that gives you good ships to work on is anyway very good. So, just go for the four I told you about. In this industry, just like in the IT industry, management companies do not have the highest salaries, but they have a lot of ships. If you do not do well on your first ship, for example, I've heard some people in my batch could not, but so they'll shift you around, they'll move you around, and you will have experiences of different ships, and you'll never be left behind. And just like TCS, Wipro, I was from that background. We always looked at IT, so I know a bit about it. Tech Mahindra, Sun Microsys, you know, say less, I guess. There are many companies which we would call consulting companies or management companies or truck companies, we used to call them in our college. TCS, the greatest one. These are good companies. If you have struggled in these companies, they say you have been the iron with the which has been with burning coal, and now you are tempered, I guess, to for the lack of a better word. So if you are in a management company, if you are just like in TCS, there's nothing to worry about. Or if you get a owner company, that's great. Like you get directly into Google, Microsoft, that's very good as well. If you would like to directly go in a owner company, be in that company, make friends. Owner companies generally do not shift their crew a lot. They hire their crew as they need, and that crew, when they go on holiday, the next one, their back to back comes on board. uh, do remember these terminology and words that I speak, because all of the merchant navy speaks these words. We do not say left, right. We say port, starboard. Starboard will be right. Forward, aft, galley for kitchen. So do pay attention to the words. If you really want to get into the industry, you will catch a lot uh, when I speak, because I've been here. And okay, so where was I? With okay, I guess management companies and owner companies. Yeah, owner companies do not rotate their crew. If you would like, if you really know which company you want to go in, maybe you can try Tolani. You will directly land into a owner company. If yeah, most there's no chance you would not get a ship. You have to be very bad after joining Tolani. So what happened after I got selected? They asked me for all the Aadhaar, PAN, every verification they could find. I think, yeah, and they asked me for my school certificates, 10th, 12th. I think you have them. I'll make a separate video for all the certificates and documentations you need, and all the documentations you do while. So that will be a separate video. This is just a general idea. So you have normal identifications and school identifications, and then after my college mark sheet and my college degree, and even if you have provisional, you just give them everything. The more you give them, the happier they'll be, because they want to verify. They got me to make what do you call that, like a letter that proves that you have done the course, or like a what do you sponsorship, no, what do you call it, like a letter of stating that yes, this guy has been in our college. AICT approval letter, yes. So you put your college stamp. They tell that we are AICT certified, this is our institution number and all of that jazz. Maybe I can share the format with you. Your college will know what to do, because even in the states, in USA, when you go, they ask for this. AICT is the, of course you might know, is the board that certifies every college whether this is a legit college or just a Ramu Kaka college someone opened, and your degree is not valid. So every college is, mine of course was Delhi government, directly under Delhi government, not like the central government. So 35,000 was our yearly fees, AC, libraries, free books. Anyway, a lot about my college. I really loved my college, and so they asked for AICT approval, and of course, you need to have a passport before joining. So I got my passport made, and because I didn't have one, but most of you would have. Now, the basic thing, passport, very important. After you join Merchant Navy, all of this Aadhaar card, PAN card, nothing matters. They do not prove your citizenship. They do not identify you internationally. Only your passport is your ID after you join Merchant Navy. Before that, you may need it to prove it, your college certificates, blah blah. No one looks at it after. You will have to give an Anglo Eastern exam. After that, you get selected, you give them documents, get your passport made. One big mistake that I did was not include my surname, and they told me about it. Everyone knows if you are an international traveler, international student, you work, you have to have two names. I mean, two parts of your name and your surname. Many countries do not accept people with a single name, which is not the case in India. In India, you can have a single name, which is the case with me all my life. This was the case with me. I was only called Vinayak, and then I had to get my surname added later on after my 4 months of pre-C. And when I got my surname added, that took some time, and then I got it updated in the DG portal, which is like your government tracking of where you are, whether you have joined your course for 4 months, whether you have done your basic courses you need for the C, whether you have started your first ship, your second ship, then for your certification, everything is on that DG ID, your DG uh, Directorate General, which is the head of shipping. So you get a DG shipping ID made. So yes, after I got my passport made, I made a big mistake. After the I know this after the fact, or yeah, I know this. So I would, again, this would be another separate video because this is another big topic. Do not make your passport without your surname. I made that mistake, had to get it rectified. I told you, in my passport, in the DG. Again, in the passport you need to publish it in the Gazette office. So I paid an agent while I was in my MTI. So luckily, I did not have to wait 1.5 months, which is the minimum it takes if you publish it in the Union Gazette. Gazette is, of course, the office where you get where you go for any publication. Like you want to change your name, you want to get uh, father's surname or any kind of uh, UPSC aspirants would know better, but Gazette publication is the thing. Like you go to a newspaper, publish it, you make a CD, blah blah blah, na na na, 10 things, and then you submit it to the Gazette, and the Gazette, after like every month, they release a letter that this person has been named to this has been done there. So they release a list, and if your name is there, then it's official that your name has changed. So I had to get that done, then update my passport, update it in the DG, update my certificates that I had already done in my MTI, your basic courses which you need, for which any person needs: basic survival, firefighting, na na na, 10 things. Again, this will be a separate video for the documentation, so don't make that mistake. When you are just about to join your MTI, for me, Anglo Eastern, they will ask you to make yourself a ID, a DG shipping ID. You will enter your MTI number or something and just make a basic ID with your email ID or something. Again, the steps are all available on YouTube. This is just a general idea so that you know what happens. From now on, this DG ID will be your social media, or not social media. It will contain everything official. You can download your um, all your certificates to prove that you are a seafarer. You have done this basic course. You've done that. You've Everything will be updated there automatically by your MTI. Anything you do yourself that you need to update, like after 5 years, after your previous certificate has expired, you will need to update it there. So this is your holy grail. You need to update it. So you get your DG shipping ID made. You go to your MTI. You submit it to them. Now in Anglo Eastern, what they gave us a circular: bring this. I did not pay much attention to it. I was already late. It was everything last moment. I had to get my passport made. So, but do pay attention to that. If they ask you to bring this, na na na, you know, pajamas or your inners or an umbrella. It's because it rains a lot in Mumbai, and we people from Delhi and the north, we didn't know about this. It just doesn't get that hot in Mumbai. Even in winters, you can roam around without a sweater. At least that's what I felt. And there, it's always raining in Karjat, where AMA is, Anglo Eastern Maritime Academy. And so the things they tell you, and also they ask us to bring a white shirt and a black pant, and I was waiting for my uniform for 7 days when I went there, because it takes time for your size, for the tailor to come take your size and get your clothes stitched. Because a lot of my batchmates, they came a week earlier, which was allowed. You can come a week earlier, get settled before your course starts. But I came a week later on, after the course started. So everyone would point me out, and people who would not know that I've come here, they would start to punish me before anyone intervenes and tells them. um, and that's what you are there for 4 months. You are not there to prove your intellect, or they just want you to see if you can be disciplined enough. Because in this job, if you are an engineer, if you are an electrician, if you are on the deck, you only learn by doing. You learn by experience. You cannot do it by theory. It's not a computer job. You sit on a computer, design circuits. You have to do it. You have to handle the pressure. That's what this job is all about. It's not so much about designing and brain power. It's more about maintaining the stuff. You have the manual. They have applied their mind. They will give you the troubleshooting steps if they are a good manufacturer. If they are not, you have to use your brains and your skills, and just, you'll be hands on, sitting down, opening the laundry system, for example. It's what we did. We just opened this lamp. It's called bed lamp. So, birth light. We opened this birth light, found the fault, things like that. Open up the engines, get dirty, climb up on the transformer, clean it, if that's what is needed for the job. This is a job where you learn on the job. It's not, you cannot brute force your way. If you are that kind of person, you should be in IT. So that's uh, 2 cents from me. Now, when we got there, as I told you, it was more about they were testing your discipline. Be disciplined, go there on time. If you cannot, suffer through the punishments. Tell your body that this is what you get if you are not disciplined. Get disciplined. Do not fight, or do not be a macho alpha male. You will get nowhere in this industry. There are already hierarchies. Chief engineer, captain on the ship, they are the alpha males. You are not. This is how this industry is. This is a very old industry, and it's a very hands on job. Do not come here for being the alpha or showing off your life. Or so, what next? 4 months there was very sweet for me, because there was no one from IT, so I could make PDFs, long 20, 21 pages PDF in like one night, if I would skip sleeping for one night and things like that. I could read wiring diagrams, export that job to chat GPT. It would help me. Other people would not start using it. At least it would help me get started at that time even. And so things like that help me stand out. And so 4 months pass. I i, I did good. I am happy with my performance. uh, I was the second, the best cadet runner up, best cadet overall runner up. I would thank the universe at this point. I do not know how. I really did put all my effort in, and I'm happy with what I get there in my batch ETO 13. Met people from ETO 14. After my 4 months, okay, that was some bragging about myself. Again, I'm very humble to have done that. Again, because of IT, because of VFD, manual troubleshooting, just putting brain power, listening to my seniors, Kopkar sir, Halapati sir, big time, Vishesh sir, cannot forget, Anil sir, a lot of people I just cannot forget, my wardens, and the teacher who would teach us firefighting drill. I really cannot. I have to go meet him. I really do miss him. Anyways, after my 4 months, we did our basic STCW courses first of all, and also during your 4 months, you will have some practicals where you would weld. Again, I'll come back to all the topics and studies that you have to do. After my 4 months, we did the STCW, like firefighting security duties. We always have to be wary of any. uh, any person we do not know who climbs onto the ship, because now the laws are very strict. They would be considered a refugee. You have to feed them, you have to take care of them, and if they complain to you, it will be a big human right violation. If they complain about they did not treat me well, even if that is fake, to take a long time in the court to prove that, would be a big human right violation if any stowaway, we call them, comes on the ship. So security duties, what you need to do, um, firefighting, security, I mean, basic like jumping into the water if you life jacket, SCBA, breathing apparatus, things like that. Again, I will need the list of the things I did. Um, let's come back to the studies, what we studied for 4 months. Of course, we are there to become electricians, so we'll be studying wiring diagrams with hopefully Alapati sir. He was very good. There was Salim sir before, way before my batch. He was a great teacher, I've heard. There were, all the teachers were just best of the best, because Anglo, it's the money we pay them for 4 months is just a nothing. You pay them 4.5 lakhs, or maybe even 5 lakhs approximately. Uh, but the money you give them is just nothing that you get in return. You get 4 months of your training. Everyone guides you on the courses you need to do. Then they send you for in AESM, Anglo Eastern Shipping Management, which is not the school. They send you to the shipping training center, or the management company, the training center, which is managed by the. There you meet all the best people from the industry, hired as teachers because they wanted a show job, and Anglo is the best show job, or so I've heard. So they really do give you, and this is the like the things that I tell you after being here. This is my second contract. The things I can tell you, the experience I can share with you in a short time. This is not a short video, by the way, but in this short time, what I can share with you, you will not be able to catch it reading blogs or websites or any other way. Experience in this industry, at least in every industry, I think experience, listening to experience gives you a lot. So the teachers, their electrical wiring diagrams, starters, all kinds of starters. When you press the start button, how does the logic work? Sometimes you need a 3 second gap. Star delta, you need some gap. Sometimes you need interlocks. How does that work? You will build that on the board with contactor, auxiliary contacts. When the contactor closes, power supply can go through, but also the auxiliary contacts can close. So whatever you put here, like 5 volts, 5 volt will go through in the auxiliary block of the contactor. So you build that logic. when uh, when this contactor closes, this NC block opens up. It's normally closed, so now it opens up when the contactor activates. So this will provide a latch. It will not let the other contactor open up, because it's in series with the other contactors supply. It's happened to my. You will build all of that on the board. So wiring diagrams, electrical, of course, you are there for it. You have to be the most expert you can be while leaving. You cannot be experts, but the most you can reach there, do it, be involved. That's your, so of course, that will be there. The things you, of course, some electronics, soldering, and what are these SMDs, what are these capacitors, transistors, then IGBTs, triacs, what are these things, how do they work, the theory of it, how do you identify it, how do you test it with a multimeter, ballast, how do you test it, all the electrical and electronics. So electronics, Kopkar sir, very great teacher. I've heard he's not teaching anymore in EMA, but nonetheless a great experience. Electronics, all kinds of theory about, which is not really that useful, because you do not really troubleshoot electronics unless they are very expensive. Then you can pretty much check for capacitors, transistors, and electronics cannot. We are not really there that we'll have every electronics is different. Computer electronics is way different than UPS electronics. You cannot be an expert in that. So it's a subject that you can ignore a bit if you are coming on the ship, but for your marks in EMA, which is how you get prizes at the end of your course, you do have to focus on everything, and every subject is important. But definitely, electrical wiring diagram, how do you test these things, are the things you'll be using every day after you become an ETO for your life, if you stay being an ETO, because people do quit. They do not understand this is a hands on job. Think of it like being a laborer. You are a laborer, just working in very good conditions, fixed timings, and like an officer. But think of it like you are coming to be a laborer, and your expectations will be right. And I definitely love my job, to say the least. But electrical electronics, definitely you would expect they would teach you that. Again, this is a separate video. I would need to pull out the syllabus to teach you everything we've learned. Cannot pull it out of my head, but the things that I remember most: generators. How do you test the AVR, all the electronics and all the common transformers? How do transformers work? What is this that one? Practical with transformers. Motors. How do you find the windings of a motor if the wires got, there's no label? This is X, U1, V1, W1, U2, V2, W2. They're all mixed up. It's not always U1 with V1, U2 with W2 or something like that. It's not always the same. How do you identify that with spark test and all that jazz? The things that you would not expect or know that these things will be taught: the mechanical side of engines, because you need to know how engines work if you are going to be working with engineers. They If they have a problem that they say there's something wrong with the electronics, first of all you need to know the mechanical side of it, so that you can say, no, I think there's something wrong with mechanical. I know that much. I know the engine as well. And to troubleshoot your electronics, no one's going to catch your pinky and take you to the solution. So you need to know your mechanical as well, just like the mechanical guys need to know electronics, so that they can point it out that electronics is not working. It's your job. Please fix it. Uh, of course, signals. Where do the signals go? Blah blah blah. You'll fix it, but you need to know your mechanical, at least the basics. This is how it works. This is how it starts. This is that. This is that component. This is the starting air. This is, valves. This is cylinder head. This is no, whatever. XYZ, XYZ. Purifiers, lube oil purifiers, fuel oil purifiers, freshwater generators, boilers, all the mechanical side of it, by the way. Because in the electrical side, you will learn how to test the alarms. Sometimes level sensor is ultrasonic or electronic, so you need to swap the wires or something to simulate the alarms, to check whether when we give the fault, then the Kongsberg system, your alarm and monitoring system, or your mimics, your computer simulation gives you an alarm, because everything works with computer simulation. Or every ship almost is automatic, and automatic meaning in the sense you can click on the computer to start, and that motor there will start. So that system needs to have all the alarms working, or at least a local alarm. And so you need to test for wires. Sometimes there is like a conductor with like a float switch, so you need to pull the wire of the float switch and things like that. You will know how to test all alarms, but also the mechanical. Something you would not be expecting is also ship construction. You need to know what the ship is called, how it's constructed, what is the bulkhead. If you would not know, you will just make a fool of yourself in front of all the merchant navy guys. Uh, you know, engineers get a lot more time. You will see it on the ship, and so they learn this much. They learn this very well as well, and it's the job of the deck guys. By the way, deck is all the captains, second officer, third officer, all the people who know all the regulations and drive the ship and take care of whatever is happening on the deck. And engine guys take care of the engine, keep it running, keep it maintained. In the engine team, there's a small team called electricians. They take care of everywhere there's a wire, signal, electrical stuff, electricity, take care of that specifically. the engineers also do. Um, Anyway, there's high voltage power. Um, what do you call it? Power? Mm, anyways, high voltage stuff. So the electricians do that. Now you need to know the terminology that the bridge people use, and the engineers know it very well. So that would be something you'll be taught. What is winches? What bits, bollards? You tie your rope in it. Berthing. What is berthing? Winches and windlass. What are these things? Mooring ropes. What is mooring? What is bulkheads inside the ship? Double hull ships. Why did that regulation come around? After the Titanic, what things changed? Of course, you'll be learning there about SOLAS and MARPOL as well, the main regulations, but also other regulations. Because according to SOLAS, your emergency generator should come online within 45 seconds, should start within 10 seconds or something, um, along the lines of that. I will have to reread that to know, but I think it's 45 seconds. Regulations like that. SOLAS is safety of life of seafarers in the sea, and so you need to learn about SOLAS and all the regulations that are relevant to you, but also a general idea. MARPOL for prevention of marine pollution, because we really do not want garbage in the sea. And the first thought that goes to our mind is ships. They just break apart and spill oil in the sea. So a lot of regulations for oil. There should not be a drop of oil on the deck, because waves can come and wash it over. There will be huge fines if an inspector comes and sees, and regulations like that. So you will have to learn, at least know, because you cannot be an electrician and just pollute the sea. You have to know what not to do. You do not have an excuse. You have to know about marine pollution, and of course other regulations. What else? Did I miss something? Hmm. Well, other things will be covered in your basic courses that you do: security duties, firefighting. You'll be shown videos. Then you'll also do your high voltage there, because some of us like me would come on ships with high voltage. We have electric propulsion, and we have like four thrusters, bow thruster, two propulsion. So all in all, seven. I think we have eight. So we have two bow thrusters. Yes, two bow thrusters, thruster three, four, five, six, and then two propulsion, seven and eight. All of this is electric, run on four generators and two new generators, four Wattzillas, two new Rolls Royce Bergens. And we are a DP ship, DP2 to be specific, because we install windmills in the sea. So we have to stand next to the monopile, or the pillars that we uh, hammer into the sea. And so when our ship stands next to it, if our ship collides, our ship can get damaged, we can sink, the monopile can get damaged. So also in diving operations, DP vessels are used, because the divers take their whatever tanks and go down, and your life support is connected to the ship, and so the ship should not move even if there is huge wind, waves, storm comes. Your ship should not move. So a lot of both thrusters, propulsion with retractable thrusters. We have four retractable thrusters, so they can put it up when we are sailing to reduce the drag and save the thruster, but they can put it down and rotate it wherever they want to, and all of it is automatic. We have three wind sensors, ultrasonic. Again, if you are interested in all this, subscribe to this channel, signal this to YouTube that you want to watch videos like this or videos from my channel, and YouTube will suggest these kind of videos to you. So we have three wind sensors. Two of them are ultrasonic with tips, ultrasonic waves, and the sensor in between. One of it is mechanical. I'll show you on the bridge sometime. We have high pap. It goes down, and the ship beams signals to it, and you can know the position of your ROVs. It also has a high pap reflector, and so HiPAP is another system. We have all kinds of sensors here on board, because DP ships are very advanced. I would say in the industry, they are the most electronically advanced ships. What else? We are on a DP ship. You need high voltage. Where did I get this? So, yes, we were discussing what you would study all kinds of courses. I think I've covered all the chap or the subjects you would study, all the courses you would study in your basic. You've done all of this. You go to, of course, Anglo Eastern Ship Management in Mumbai. I forget the Marol or metro station that's nearby. Uh, Anglo Eastern did book hotels for us because now we are seafarers, so they booked it from their expense for 3 weeks, and they booked their training slots in for IT, cyber security, everything IT. Of course, I was a bit good at it, but for people who do not know uh, how to change your firewall settings to allow for a local connection, like accessing a local drive, or for just sharing files between two computers and accessing one computer from another and things like that, and RDP, remote desktop, like accessing one computer from the other, of course. How do you disable firewall for that in the local network? How do you find your local IP address and basic troubleshooting like that from your command prompt? Of course, you type ipconfig slash all, things like that. IT, of course, again, wiring. They really want you to be very good in wiring. There was a third subject about, we did not get the chance in our time. It would be, I think, about electronics or something. We did 2 weeks of electrical, which I'm glad about. But so, yes, we went to Anglo Eastern Ship Management. Of course, we came back to EMA where we met ETO 14 batch. Very nice experience to see young, what can you say, young sheeps uh, being troubled and being clueless and just suffering like how we suffered 6 months back. So definitely was a good experience to go back, uh, meet our juniors, ETO 14 batch. Very nice. So we went back, of course, to EMA for our GTFC and OCTCO because EMA has a, or that's definitely the aim of a lot of people to go into LPG, LNG ships. So GTFC would be for LNG, gas tanker familiarization. OCTCO would be for oil tanker and any, I think, chemical tanker. You would need OCTCO, OCTCO, and so these courses you would, all of these basic courses and these specialized courses like high voltage, GTFC, OPTCO, you would have to do it on your own. But because you go into a maritime institute, they just know and they just guide you and they just do it for you, and it's all included in your course fees. They mention it, what's for what fees is for what. If you cannot do it, it gets refunded to you. Of course, it takes a lot of time for bureaucracy to finally get it refunded and all of that. So GTFC and OTCO. Then we just got our yellow fever and all of the documents that we needed, extra documents like medical, all of the things that we missed. Again, would be a separate video. We got all that ready. Think yellow fever and medical would be the biggest you would have to worry about, and your, of course, CDC. You would, after you complete your 4 months, you would order your CDC, which is like just like a passport, but for seafarers. If you are to board any ship, you would need a CDC. I think unless you are going on a cruise ship as a tourist, as a passenger, you would. I think in that case you would not need a CDC. Otherwise, you would need a CDC. It's like a seafarer identity document. CDC is called Continuous Discharge Certificate. You would get that made as soon as you complete your 4 months. Now you have done your basic STCW, so you will get it from DG, again official. From that DG online portal, you would apply and then you'll get shipped to your house. So of course, everybody got their DG. They got their US visa before going to the ship. They get C1D visa for seafarers. Of course, people like me, we could not. just go with C1D because our ship stays in, for example, US water. We are right now in Canada. We were just sailing. I must have included that video, which this GoPro is recording right now. I hope I've included that. At least I've made that effort. I will include that video. So we were in USA, we are now in Canada, we'll be going to Europe, which is where most of the crew is from. Most of the crew is Dutch, some of them are Polish, uh, few Filipinos, and of course, one Indian, one Taiwanese. You get to meet people from all around the world when you work in merchant navy. It's of course what I love about the job. I love the work culture. I love that I have to use my hands. I love this job, by the way, if that was not clear from all the blah 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 I did. I don't know, for like past half an hour. I think I need to rush this video a bit, but this is about a general idea. So okay, uh, you get your courses, you get your GTFC OCTCO, you are done. You start preparing your documents for joining your ship, which would be your visa, uh, your yellow fever, your medical, and your CDC. After you're just about ready, and if there are some documents, Anglo would tell you that you are ready, you get your first ship. For me, of course, I had to go through a lot of passport name change and then publication, and then here, there. Also, I had to go for fitness certificate from a medical doctor for a surgery that I had, to prove it to them, to prove was to the company that I'm all fit to work. A doctor has to take responsibility for that, to give you that certificate, fitness to work. So yes, medical, they took your blood samples, dental, X-rays, CT scans for your kidney, liver, everything, medical, everything. Even before joining as a merchant for 4 months, many people do have that issue that they join for 4 months and they find that they are medically unfit. So even before joining for your MTI, you get to have a medical and show them that you are fit enough. And then if your BMI is above certain limit, they ask you to bring it down while you are in your MTI, to declare you medically fit after you have completed your 4 months. So definitely don't get a lot fat. uh, I think you'll get a lot thin on board. Depends on your ship. If it's I've heard if it's LPG LNG, it's pretty chill while it's sailing for the ETOs. On these ships where everything is electronic, every small motor has VFD, we Wi-Fi everywhere. All of the things are connected with PLCs. It's just run all day. And right, you get your first ship. For me, I we had to be in some states for more than 30 days, so we are not a ship that would transit. So we had to apply for offshore visa, which would be under the B1 category of US visa. B1 is business visa, B2 is business visa. We were under B1 with annotation. So I got my, so for the US visa, I had to go to Poland, uh, because if you apply for a business visa for US in India, you would need to wait for around 1.5 year. Let's just say, and it's different for different visa. Like a tourist visa, US is pretty chill with Indian tourists now, so I think you'll get it in 1 month, I guess, your appointment date, where you go and submit your documents and wait for if you get a visa or not. If you apply for C1D, it would be quicker. All my friends got it. If you apply for a business visa, which I need because this is considered offshore, this is nothing oil and gas. Offshore is mostly oil and gas. This is nothing related to that, but it's all the same vessels. It's all the same kind of, stay on one place, and DP vessels used in offshore when they approach a platform, because a platform is just a structure which is fixed in the sea, or maybe even floating, but they have their digging in the sea, and they are extracting oil out of it. So you cannot go and cannot take your normal ship, and then a huge wave or wind comes and then go and bang into the platform, and then everyone on the platform dies. There's some oil spill, and there's some fire, and all of your ship, gets damaged, sinks. Cannot do that. You need DP ships. DP is, by the way, dynamic positioning. So we are DP2. We have two back-to-back systems. So one system takes care. If that fails, the other system comes on. We have DP1 ships in which there is only one. It can behave like a normal ship, but you can also go DP. We are DP2 ships, so we can behave like a normal sailing ship. We can go DP1. We can go DP2. So backup engines are always running. Backup thrusters are always running to pick up if any fault occurs, and backup power for your ASB auxiliary switchboards from there to there, and four islands, by the way, four separated bus bars with the breakers. All of this automatic, by the way, on Kongsberg. Maybe I'll be able to show you someday. It's great how complicated this Kongsberg is on our ship, and the mimics. And you definitely get to add sometimes, because lot of sensors you need to replace, and then sometimes you need to change the position, so you need to go find that wire, go to your field station, find where that wire comes, and then replace the address in your mimics, in your Kongsberg, in your alarm and monitoring, in your simulation on the PC. DP2 ships. Where did I come to DP2 ship topic? Right. I would have to go to Europe to get my US visa if I did not want to wait for 1.5 years. So we got my Shenzhen visa made. Shenzhen is a visa for which any person who travels to Europe gets made, because with Shenzhen visa you can travel to all of this European Union countries, Poland, which where I went to, and then I went to Netherlands, but also Italy, France, um, Lithuania. Let's just say, I don't know. There are countries in European Union. Uh, UK was a part of it, which you might have heard about Brexit. And these European Union, all the Europeans who live there, like all the people from Amsterdam, which is in Netherlands, all the people from Poland, all the people from Lithuania, all the people from Latvia, all these European people in the European, they can move around just like we move around in Indian states. They can move around in their to a different country, from France to Italy, from Netherlands to other places, Poland, and they can start working there, live, buy property, live as citizens. That's what the European Union agreement was, and so Britain wanted out of it. So Brexit, and so I think Britain, like London and places like that, you cannot visit. With Shenzhen now, I am guessing that. I would not be 100% sure on that. I would have to check, but I cannot check because my phone is right there. Um, but Shenzhen for going to Poland, and then I have to go to Netherlands, which is where the office for my shipping company was. So while I was waiting and doing my CAEBS, your breathing course, and all that jazz, I got to, go around, move around Amsterdam, and then only only when you are a merchant marine you get to do that. Visit countries, got some currencies from there. So went to Poland, applied for my visa, got approved. Went to Netherlands, roamed around, and then finally, when all my documents were ready, went to Boston. Boston, of course, in US, near Providence, near Providence, I think. Boston is where I think Massachusetts is as well. Big industries, I think. I mean, big colleges, Ivy League colleges, where so got to see that, roam around. Uh, Hopefully, in one of these videos, I'll include some footage that I captured while roaming around. And I joined on my first contract there. Um, Went to Boston, a CTV, a small ship. Uh, CTV is a cargo transfer vessel. So they came, picked us up, sat inside. They 3 hour journey to my ship, which was 90 or 100 kilometers from the shore. Our ship is almost 90, 100 kilometers most of the time, most of the year, because these windmills that we install it very close to the shore. We install it in the sea because there's huge wind and everything, and there's no obstruction much. But we install it close to the shore because shore is where you need the power, the electricity. Shore is where all the people live, and it's and you need to run huge cables which are waterproof, which are thick, which can carry a lot of current, which will be there for years to come. So you need cable laying vessels which lay cables. Even the optic fibers for this subsea connections for your ethernet. Your Asia is like India is connected to, I mean, Europe is connected to America through these underwater cables. There's good documentaries on YouTube. So these huge lengthy cables from Europe to USA, cable